If you've inherited a house and you found out it still has a mortgage on it, one of the first questions most people ask is, do I need to keep paying this mortgage? And the answer is no, but the house actually has to keep paying it. My name is Nate Clark. I'm a probate realtor here in Austin, Texas. I help heirs and executors sell inherited property every single week here in Central Texas. Now, the most important thing to understand in this situation is that you as an heir do not personally inherit the mortgage debt, but the estate does. This means that the lender does not force the heirs to individually pay the mortgage. The mortgage doesn't disappear, and the mortgage does still need to be paid off with the sale of the property. This is a big relief when a lot of executors and heirs find out that they're not personally liable for the mortgage. So what actually happens to a mortgage after death? When a homeowner passes away, the mortgage does not automatically go into default. The bank does not immediately foreclose. The mortgage actually becomes a debt of the estate. The executor or the administrator is responsible managing it moving forward through probate. Typically, there are three paths forward that most heirs and executors consider. Option one is to keep the home. If there are still heirs or family members that want to live in the home, this is actually a really good option. The heir may be able to continue making payments on the mortgage or refinance the loan into their own name. However, this would mean giving away the interest rate attached to the original loan, so that could mean that you're paying a higher interest rate if you do choose to refinance. The cool thing is federal law generally allows heirs to actually assume the existing loan, but this depends on the specifics of the situation, like the type of loan and the lender involved. So this is something to carefully review with that individual lender. Option two is going to be to sell the house and pay off the mortgage. This is actually the most common scenario that most heirs and executors go down. So what would happen is at the sale of the house, the mortgage would be paid off. That's the first lien that's always going to be paid off. Any additional proceeds go to the estate. Once the estate pays off additional loans, debts, and obligations, that money is distributed to the heirs. So as long as the home is worth more than the loan, the process is actually really super straightforward. A good question this brings up is what happens if the loan is actually higher than the value of the house? This is what we would typically call a short sale scenario where the sale of the home is going to be short of the mortgage balance. So it's important to remember heirs are not personally responsible for any shortfall. The estate may pursue a short sale and actually negotiate with the bank. That's also something we do, and I have a really good short sale attorney that I work hand in hand with. And in some situations, the lender may allow the house to actually be surrendered back to them or do something called a deed in lieu of foreclosure. Now, this does not automatically ruin anyone's credit because the loan and the debt belongs to the estate, not to the heirs. So should you keep paying the mortgage during probate? This depends on whether the house will be sold, if there's anybody still living there, and the estate's available funds. In many cases, continuing to pay the mortgage prevents issues and temporarily protects the house. This is something that's important to assess on a case-by-case basis. And this is where guidance matters. A couple mistakes I see heirs take is one, assuming that they personally have to take over and be responsible for the loan. Two, letting the house sit without a plan of attack. Three, stopping communication with the lender. And four, making emotional decisions without actually fully understanding their options. Almost all of these are avoidable with the right information. Now, important disclosure, I'm obviously not an attorney, so I can't give you legal advice, but I do work closely with probate attorneys and title companies every day, and I see how this plays out in real time. If you've inherited a house with a mortgage and you're trying to figure out whether to keep it, sell it, or walk away, that isn't a decision that you have to make or figure out all on your own. If you're in Texas, I'm happy to help you understand how this works in regards to real estate, what your options look like. Just be a sounding board to kind of figure out what the best next steps look like for you. And my contact information is down below.